Welcome. Hello, everyone, to another episode of Healthy Living, Happy Life. I'm your host, Denise Stegall, the longevity concierge. And today I want to talk to you a bit about a topic that's really relevant for women in that age range, 45 to 65. Even older, but truly, I work with women 45 to 65, so I'm going to focus there. Mostly when we're navigating challenges, of course, during this stage of menopause, whether that's perimenopause, menopause, that crazy weird year, or postmenopause. So today I'm actually going to dive into a bit about nutrition, but in a different way. Usually I talk about nutrition, I talk about eat real food. This is imperative for us to feel good, function properly, and really thrive. But sometimes you're out and about. It's not always possible to eat perfectly, right? We want to think about how we can uh, continually have good sources of nutrition with us, like whether we're traveling or in the car or whatever we're doing. Because there are a lot of benefits and drawbacks, right, to certain snacks or protein shakes and meal replacements, which is what I really want to focus on, those protein shakes and meal replacements. And they're a little different. So why do I want to talk about this? One, because it's really something that's happening in my world right now. Mark and I have been traveling, and both of us realized that we kind of hit our bleep number on our scale. The number that lets you know that you've been indulging a little bit too much, and truly we're kind of teetering on the BMI scale from a healthy weight to maybe a not so healthy weight. And I think this is so important. One, we kind of need to know, we always need to know where we are, right? And hey, it happens to all of us. If you're a woman in menopause, perimenopause, all through, weight happens. But we need to really pay attention to what we can do when we do notice that, the numbers creeping up, our pants are getting a little tighter. So yes, the key is knowing what to do about it. What's really annoying is Mark drops weight easily. I think he just thinks about losing weight and it happens. But I have to work at it a little bit more with hormonal shifts and all the craziness that happens in menopause, post-peri, wherever you are. It really does become essential to make dietary choices, food choices that support those changing needs. So let's explore a little bit how these shakes, protein shakes and meal replacements, how we actually can use them as tools rather than something that completely replaces real food. They do have a place in a well-balanced a well-balanced approach to your wellness. So let's start with a little bit of background on our hormonal changes. Most of us are still so clueless when it comes to menopause because our doctors say one thing, our friends say another. Everybody experiences things a little bit differently. But these changes affect our nutritional needs in a lot of different ways. The fluctuations of our estrogen and progesterone that often leads to weight gain in itself. Also, decreased muscle mass, right? We if we're not paying attention to exercise, lifting weights, yes, ladies, we do need to lift some weights. These things definitely lead to other challenges like hot flashes and mood swings, sleep disruptions. There was a time where I didn't sleep for 3 months. Seriously, I did not sleep through the night for 3 months. And this was in the beginning of my journey, which I started really early at 37. But I'm glad now that I understand because I've been through this journey. And so I'm here to help you to make your journey a lot easier. As we get older, our bodies obviously process nutrients differently. Sometimes we can absorb them better than other times in life. And it's just kind of why making informed choices when it comes to food is so critical. Protein, number one, for muscle mass. And that's why, I want to talk about protein shakes. Protein shakes and meal replacements are different in we use them for different reasons. Meal replacement, obviously, you're out and about, you don't have time to get a good lunch. You have a meal replacement shake or bar. Um, and they tend to be about between 200, 250 to about 400 calories, because that typically something like if you had lunch and you had a salad and some tuna with that salad, it would probably total to about 400 calories. So that's a meal replacement. A protein shake typically has between 150, 120, 150 to about 200, 240 calories. And of course, we need this protein shake, this protein for muscle mass. Um, these are great, protein shakes are great to have with you, like after a workout, if you've gone for a run, whatever it may be. As estrogen levels drop, a lot of us really notice that drop in muscle mass. It actually has a name. It's called sarcopenia. If you look at some of the older women in your life, you'll notice like they're doughy, like there's no muscle there. And even older women who are really thin, who still have no muscle mass, that's unhealthy as well. So we really want to make sure that we're getting protein to counteract this process. And this is where these protein shakes can really fit into your life, especially if they are a whole food source, right? I know that's not always convenient, but there are protein shakes out there that are made with whole foods, basically. I have one here. I'm not showing the name of it. But this, I mean, there's a ton of ingredients, but realistically, yeah, there's lots of vitamins and minerals and all those things that we need, those macronutrients. But when it comes to the micronutrients, when it comes to the macronutrients that we need, the protein and carbs are not your enemy, nor is fat. It has a really good amount. This has 25 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbs, but 6 grams of fiber, which drops that carb number down. And there's just so many great things in here. Pea protein. It's written the type is very small, and I don't have my glasses on. Brown rice protein, omega free omega. Nope, that says organic pure whole grain oats, organic coconut flour nectar, shiitake mushrooms. All of those adaptogens from different mushrooms. So this is great. And this one is 240 calories. So this could be either a protein shake or it could be a meal replacement, just depending on what you need it for, right? So again, muscle mass isn't just about, being able to lift weights, which is often helpful, especially if you ever lifted a really heavy bag of groceries. You'd still want to be able to do that when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 plus, right? But also muscle plays a huge role in metabolism and energy levels. If you're already eating whole foods, what I love to talk about, meat, fish, legumes, all those kind of whole foods, whole real foods, protein shake can just be a quick, easy, convenient way to add extra protein. I tend to be someone who goes incredibly plant-based. And yes, you can get enough protein on a plant-based diet, but it's really hard and you have to really pay attention. So for me, that's where this plant-based meal replacement or protein shake comes in, because it gives me that protein boost that I need. And it's really simple. I add water, shake it all up, and it's great. And it really does change the way I feel and function when I'm using this. So the most obvious thing that we complain about when we are in this phase of life, right, is weight gain. Wow. frustrating, right? Especially around that middle section. I've heard it called the meno belly, right? How many of us have a little bit of meno belly? Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who's, she's thin and she's an athlete, but she's still got a little bit of that mental belly. And this is something that, we don't want too much of that because, fat around the belly is actually harmful to our health in so many other ways. So the shift, of course, is hormones. Um, that's part of it, combined with that loss of muscle mass. So again, this is really where these replacements can come in to help you balance the number of calories. I mentioned earlier when I started that Mark and I were basically kind of going crazy and eating a lot and drinking a little bit too much wine. We were in France. So this is a challenge, right? So was I paying attention to my calories? Absolutely not. So when I got back from my trip, I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And so the meal replacements just make it so much easier to, I hate to calorie count, but sometimes we do need to know where we are, right? If you don't know how much you're eating, you don't know how much you're overeating or undereating. So again, the key here, of course, is quality in your meal. You want fiber, you want healthy fat, and you don't want artificial ingredients. The goal here, of course, is satiety. You want to be full, but you also want to be full with healthy stuff, fiber, fats, all the things that are going to just that will support your digestive health, which again is essential for what balancing energy through the day. That is so important. How many of us, like at 3 o'clock, feel like, I need to take a nap? A lot of people. So, with declining estrogen, bone health actually becomes a real concern. Um, Lower estrogen decreases bone density, raising your risk of osteoporosis. And if you are someone who's in family member has osteoporosis or in that high risk category, this is something you really need to pay attention to. And so again, protein is vital for bone health. Of course, certain other things too, calcium, vitamin D, magnesium. Magnesium, by the way, if you are having trouble going to the bathroom, check out how much magnesium you have or don't have. This is magnesium is like the perfect diuretic. It's healthy. Your body needs it, and it knows what to do with it. Many of these meal replacements are actually fortified with these things. So again, it makes it convenient. Now, granted, when it comes to these, you really do want to focus mostly on real food, leafy greens, seeds, nuts, all of those things. But where they're not available or when they're not available, that's when these protein shakes and meal replacements come in. We do have to touch on sweeteners. A lot of the protein shakes and meal replacements out there have a ton of artificial ingredients and a ton of artificial sweeteners. Ingredients like sucralose and aspartame. A lot of times people think, oh, they're sugar-free, there's no calories. But for women in perimenopause or in menopause, these actually contribute to increased cravings, mood swings, and digestive issues. Something, let's be real, we're already dealing with, right? For me, these actually trigger headaches. Not necessarily migraines all the time, but I can tell if I drink something and it has one of these sweeteners, I know right away. And so I learned a long time ago, stay away from them. Gut health. Let's talk a little bit about gut health. I actually have a really great freebie on my website on gut health. So I would recommend popping over there and grabbing that. Because let's think about this. We're struggling with a lot of other things. We may not be sleeping. Food's kind of doing stuff to us that we may not like bloating, indigestion, and some other digestive issues that we may be having. I mentioned a couple minutes ago, you may not be going to the bathroom regularly. Sucralose and aspartame. Oh, these are two that drive me crazy because they're in so many things. Actually, they are in this particular. So I have another. For those of you who are just listening, I have a another protein shake here. This one's already came pre-mixed, but this one has in it one carrageenan. That's an artificial. You just don't need that in there. But this one has sucralose in it. Now, granted, it's one of the last ingredients, but sucralose is so sweet. You only need a little bit to sweeten this stuff, but a little goes a long way when it comes to negative effects. But we also know that these absolutely affect our gut bacteria in negative ways. So if you've already got digestive issues, stay away from these, because often these type of ingredients will cause something called leaky gut syndrome. And I'm not going to get into that today, but I will get into get into that another time. And what's important to note, though, is leaky gut plays a significant role in gut health plays a significant role in regulating inflammation, mood, and hormone levels. So let's avoid these, right? Especially aspartame. I know that's been linked to mood disturbances, migraines, and it actually increases stress. Well, yeah, if you're getting migraines and you have mood disturbances, of course you're going to have added stress. So again, this is the last thing you want if you're already having hormone fluctuations. Instead, choose natural sweeteners. Stevia is a great one, monk fruit, or go for shakes that don't actually rely on any sweeteners. This one actually that I showed you guys before, the bag one that I have to shake with water, I can't find any sweetener on here. And I've gone through this list many, many times. So the only thing I can find is there is some super fruit blend. So the sweetness is not incredibly sweet, comes from the fruit. So again, when possible, choose real whole ingredients that are in here. That makes a difference when it comes to, energy, sleep, mood, all of these things. You want to make sure you're balancing your protein, your fat, and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates equal fiber, right? If you get right amount of fiber, you can go to the bathroom well. It stabilizes your blood sugar, and when you have more stable blood sugar, that is actually going to keep your energy levels pretty consistent throughout the day. Because I don't know about you guys, but there have been times where 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all I want to do is take a nap. What else? I told you how much that we're in, how many calories that were in these. So again, make sure that if you're using a protein shake at post-workout, or you only just need something like, just a little bit of a kick during the day, like in the middle of the afternoon, rather than going for that, crazy sugar craving. If you have a meal replacement, or a protein shake, that can take away those the cravings, but also the energy dip that you get. Think about it. If you have a donut, yeah, your energy's up for a little bit, but then what happens? It drops, and then you usually end up feeling worse than you did originally. So when it comes to these, think of them as tools in your toolkit, right? Things you can use to stay energized, things you can use to stay focused. So to wrap up, what do we want to do? We want to, one, prioritize protein. Make sure there's enough protein in the shake. Or again, if it's a protein bar, you just want to make sure that you have enough protein. Because protein, you need it for your muscle, for bone. And during menopause, you need to really pay attention to this. So high quality protein is truly something you need, because true quality protein is something that you want to make sure that you're getting. If you're not getting enough, a good protein shake can help you meet your daily needs. Again, whole food sources are best, but these again are tools in your toolbox. Number two, avoid artificial sweeteners, sucralose, aspartame, erythritol. These can absolutely worsen your digestive issues, mood swings, and actually increase your cravings. These sweeteners are so incredibly sweet that all of a sudden, you have something like this, and then, now I want a cookie to have with it. No, that's not really what you want to do. And so the third thing is to choose shakes and protein bars that have the most natural ingredients in them, real ingredients, real food. So you want to make sure that they are nutrient dense, as opposed to something that has just a lot of filler. Like I said before, this one shake here that's already pre-mixed has a lot of stuff in it that I can't even pronounce. Well, I probably can't read it because the letters are so small. So anyway, whether you're using a protein shake or meal replacements, just make sure you're also looking at the fiber, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. You do want to make sure that you're getting your micronutrients along with your macronutrients. And of course, these help you to support your weight, your energy, and overall health. But remember, replacements, meal replacements are tools. They're not meant to be your main food source. They're meant to complement a balanced diet of whole foods, not replace it. Even though they're called meal replacements, they shouldn't be called that. You don't want to replace your real whole food. This is something that you can just add to kind of supplement, right? And supplements, we know, fill in the gaps. So think of it that way. So by making informed choices that support your body and your body's changing needs, you can better manage the symptoms of menopause, any phase that you're in, all while maintaining your strength, your vitality, well-being, and your longevity, which of course means the quality of life you live while you're here on the planet. So I want to thank you for joining me on today's episode of Healthy Living, Happy Life. I hope I've given you some practical insights on how protein shakes and meal replacements can support you through the challenges of menopause, sometimes the challenges of just every day. And remember, small intentional changes can have a big impact on your health. So if this episode resonated with you, please, please, please share it with a friend and tune in next time, and we'll explore other ways to live a healthier, happier life from today on. Until then, remember, eat real food, okay? Healthy living, happy life. I'll talk to you soon.